Hi everyone, welcome. I'm down here in my wormery and I've got some stuff that I need to compost away with some worm action. Just basically Brussels sprout leaves. And the systems that I've got on deck for being worked on are the systems that for now 40 days have been undergoing horizontal migration. We've been suspecting that the reason that the horizontal migration is going a little bit slow is probably because the finished castings were so damp that the worms had no reason to leave. And that's the reason it's uncovered. And hopefully by being uncovered, it's going to kick off some of its moisture. So these are the systems we're checking in on. Let's slip on a glove, get these systems up on the bench, and take a look at how they're doing. It would be nice if we were to come into these finished castings now and find no worms, but that would be very different from last time, because last time there were lots of worms in the finished castings. But we've been doing our best to try to create an environment over on the horizontal feeding side that would be comfortable for them to perhaps be attracted to, and hopefully, you know, nice enough that they would stay rather than wander back off into the finished castings. Definitely curious to see how the migration is doing. This one looks like it was the clumpier of the two, probably the more wet one. This one has more of a granular look to it already, so maybe it already had managed to dry enough to get nice and granular, probably much more so now. Maybe, what is it, 10 days, I believe, that have passed since the last check-in. Yeah, the last check-in was a real quick, just kind of a time me over. Wow, this stuff, okay. Yeah, the feeding was just a quick, like, I think some coffee was all they got, maybe a little bit of bedding, right? So, there's definitely a lot of worms hanging out there, but there's also a good bit of bedding remaining for them to continue playing in. I was just wondering if we need to add more bedding. I got my bedding supply here on the ready, but if they don't really need it, maybe we'll just give them food. We'll see. They're going to get maybe these pieces of paper as bedding. Got those napkins, so they're going to get a little bedding boost one way or another, but I'm very curious to see how this migration's coming along. Look at all these worms. I guess a little bit of tilling up to aerate and maybe help dry ain't gonna hurt. So we'll do that. But we're definitely not in a position yet to consider these castings as evacuated or for this migration to be anywhere near completion. And, well, even leaving it almost pretty much uncovered, I mean literally uncovered, the way you saw it, seems to be helping this upper top layer. So if we can blend in some of the drier material from the top surface down into the more wet stuff below, I'm sure that'll help balance things out into a more dry overall consistency. It's just, yeah, you know, it is starting to feel like it's pretty crumbly and stuff. I'm sure even from the lowest section, if I were to pull some stuff up, it's pretty close to that point where it wants to kind of flow, but it's just just a little bit more clumpiness than we want. It's definitely getting nice. Okay, we'll just leave it at that at this point. Very nice castings, definitely getting there. Hopefully aeration helps with the further drying. Here too, I'm already seeing enough of a presence of worms in the material that tells me our migration is still underway. That's okay. As long as they want to stay there, they can stay there, but if they felt like they had to move out of it because they didn't like it, they would have already made their way over into that cardboard and paper confetti mix over on the other end of the bin. So this stuff is probably still plenty comfortable for them. Nice and damp. Alright. Still hopefully benefits from getting tilled up a little bit. Doesn't feel quite as fluid as that other stuff. As crumbly. It's just a little bit behind. That's okay. I'm sure what we're doing here helps a bit, bringing some of the more damp stuff that's down low out to the surface and vice versa. Well, I've got a nice fancy top covering piece of paper that's going to come in the place of that newspaper that's been doing that job all the while until now. Nice piece of loose leaf paper or printer paper, whatever that is. So that's one thing they're definitely getting, is this right here is a bit of bedding to go in with the Brussels sprouts leaves. There was even a little bit of strawberry in there, wasn't there? Yep. Okay, let's see how our migration areas are doing now. It does almost feel like, whether they need it or not, I probably should just give them a little bit more bedding out here on the far end. As long as I'm making this nice trench for it, right? And it's right here on hand. Let's go for it. I think what we're going to do is first dump in some of these napkins that need to be composted, or paper towels, or whatever they are. That's cool. Oh, got another one here. Oh, one more. There we go. And then we could start bringing in some of this yummy food. This also counts as yummy food for them. And here's some more of this. We could plop in as well. Ooh, we still got so much more, so let's give it to them. Look at that thing. Holy camoly. There we go. And I guess we're going to be covering up again with plastic, the way you saw it when we arrived. So, you know, got it. It's right here on my fingertips. Let's give them some more. Can't hurt. Maybe it'll be more inspiration for them to come to have some new stuff to explore and occupy. Maybe it's just the trick to get them out of the old castings so we can harvest it and use it out in the garden. Alright, like I promised, nice new top coverings are going to be these bright pieces of paper. Hopefully with the hopefully the moisture circulating underneath the bubble wrap will moisten that paper and make it a place where the white worms want to come up and hang out in it, so I'm sure that'll happen. So put the coverings sort of like that. I don't know. Seems like they were a little bit more thorough before, but this should be okay, I think. Hopefully we're giving the castings the best environment to dry off so that it becomes less likely that the worms will want to stay in it, and hopefully get on the move to check out some new fresh material to hang out in, and hopefully we can get to these castings and use it in the garden soon. But for now, the migration continues. Alright everyone, that's it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, please don't forget to leave me a quick thumbs up for that, and if you haven't done so already, please also consider subscribing to the channel. That's all very much appreciated. Alright everyone, thanks so much for watching. Bye now. Where'd that little worm go? I was just going to rescue him off the bubble wrap, but he would have found his way off on his own. Alright everyone, have a great day. Bye now.